Hello, this is Crypto Neptune, and on for a quick update to talk about the Richard Hart stream. And I want to give you my thoughts on it. And also, did PDAI touch 60 cents? So we're going to dive into it in this video. Remember, nothing I say is financial advice, only use risk capital. And thank you to those who continue to support the channel. So the first thing that Richard Hart kind of talked about is Hex and how proud he is of Hex and how flawlessly it has been running. As you know, Hex is the foundation of everything, where everything started. So he's pretty much proud of that. And then he went on to kind of talk about how he wants to make our lives better. So he wants to make our lives better. That's kind of how his thing, that's how he wants to leave a legacy because he doesn't like these middlemen. He doesn't like monetary systems that kind of gatekeep. So that is kind of the gist of what he was talking about. And then the motion to dismiss, he said generally, on average, sometimes they can be around 60 days. So he is very hopeful and feels pretty confident that we could get a motion to dismissal, some sort of decision from the judge within 60 days. So he's feeling pretty good about that. He also, again, he hates gatekeeping, whether it's some sort of gatekeeping on centralized exchanges. That's why he's pretty much into decentralized type systems and decks. But at its core, he hates any type of gatekeeping, whether it's the SEC, whether it's the government. He hates when people try to put their thumb on you and don't want you to do better in life. And then point five, he went on to talk about how he's proud of PLS, Hex, Inc., and PulseX. Extremely proud of how these assets have been performing. But in particular, he really emphasized how he likes PulseX and the deflationary aspect of it. And my thought is like the more volume and pressure that goes through PulseX and more things that are happening on the PulseX DEX, the more deflationary that PulseX will become. So envision heavy volume coming through PulseX. The value of your PulseX bags could be tremendous over time. So we definitely want to keep that in mind. And he goes on to talk about how essentially with PulseChain as a whole, it just needs more attention. And for the most part, our community has been doing a good job of spreading the word. So he's just encouraging us to spread the word because my thought is he wants to do something far as pegging PDAI to a dollar. And again, with wrap Bitcoin essentially having that paired one to one with the actual value of Bitcoin. But I think he wants to get more and more volume into the DEX and have more and more people using it. And the reason is using PulseChain is faster. It's lower gas fees than Ethereum. So you have to keep that in mind. And then he kept going on and on about DAI, but in a roundabout way. He was talking about PDAI as far as like how hard it's hard to find, and you need to use this inverted type of search to find it. But he brought up a good point here as he was trying to allude to, hey, you need to be paying attention to the the PDAI pair is what he was trying to get at. But he was trying to go about it in without saying it, if that makes sense. So uh, definitely an eyebrow raising moment here when he was talking about that and the specifics of how impactful this is. And then he goes on to say that I'm safe living best life. So he's safe living his best life and couldn't be more safe. So I think that is also important given kind of some of the certain scrutiny that he has been under. Again, I think it's just more political based where they're just trying to keep Richard Hart down and preventing him from making other people great. So that's kind of like a gist of what was happening. But let's get into like the interesting part. So, and I was kind of like looking around and researching, and a lot of people kind of noticed like a spike up on PDAI, on Gecko Terminal specifically. Now, could this potentially be some sort of error? Could this be some sort of glitch? Or could this be Richard Hart potentially testing what is going on with PDAI? But boom, right here. This was like right around 8:30. It just spiked up to 60 something cents, which was impressive when that happened. And then I had to do some digging to actually kind of find those transactions. But like right around here is when you can see a couple of these transactions were for 60 something cents, which is fairly interesting. So, again, is this Richard Hart doing some sort of test? Is this some? I find it kind of funny that he was just talking about, in an indirect way, talking about PDAI without drawing attention to it. And then here it is, December 26th, and we see this kind of weird spike up in the chart. So this is pretty cool. So it could this be an indicator that, yeah, that we can definitely instantly peg PDAI to $1 if we want to, but let's do some testing first. So when he's actually planning to do this and peg it to $1, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but again, maybe he's looking for more volume to come through. Now, again, just on the backs of the community, we're doing a great job. We're looks like we're 15 for its chained volume over the last 24 hours. So some nice volume there. This is like going about Dex TBL. Let's see. I'm not sure if that'll change for us later. Let me take a look here real quick. Would it allow us to do? Yeah, that's the Dex volume. Let's go back. Yeah, but you get the point here. We're not doing too bad here. It looks like we're 15, and kind of depending on what metric you look at, PulseChain can be higher up on the list. But again, he's just basically saying, "Hey, let's get more volume coming through on the Dex." So, and again, it's just a matter of letting people know, getting the word out. And if you're somebody that is never been on PulseChain before, you can go to PulseChain.com. You can bridge over assets from the bridge. So you can bridge over from the bridge and a variety of different assets, connect your wallet. And if I click these assets here, you can bridge them over to PulseChain and then kind of do what you want to do. You're going to have some ETH for gas. And then once you get over to the PulseChain side, you're going to need some PLS for gas. But if you're automatically moving over wrapped PulseChain from ETH, then you'll be good to go because you already have gas. But you'll need PulseChain on that side. And again, once you bridge over whatever asset you want to bridge over, you can use a DEX like PulseX to kind of trade around and trade whatever asset you want to trade, if that makes sense, in order for you to get some PLS. Connect your wallet and good to go. You can go to changelist.org and add PulseChain to your wallet. So that is, let me see if I can find that for you. Yep. So here is changelist.org. So if you do not have the PulseChain network within your Metamask or Rabby wallet, you can come here and just add it. You just connect your wallet, and then you pick one of these RPCs, add it to your wallet, and you're good to go. So just something to kind of think about there. But yeah, this is your go-to, essentially coming to PulseChain.com, and then it gives you, the bridge. It gives you PulseX, the actual DEX in which you can swap between different PulseChain assets, if that makes sense. So just wanted to point that out. So I hope this video provided you like some value. But again, like I said, we find it interesting that is this Richard Hart doing some sort of test where it just pumped to 60 something cents? And I find this kind of neat that it happened. Now it only happened on Gecko Terminal, and I know that Dex Screener and Dex Tools really doesn't do a good job of instantaneously updating like really quick by the second. So maybe it happened so fast that it just wasn't picked up on Dex Screener and Dex Tools. I don't know. Or maybe some sort of backdoor way Richard Hart potentially wanted the data to only show on Gecko Terminal. I don't know. These are people that are way smarter than us when they're dealing with blockchain technology. So just wanted to point that out. So, but yeah, here it is. Boom, right here. Right around 8:30 roughly, it just popped up to 60 something cents. So it's an eyebrow raising moment as far as what's happening with PDAI and the PDAI narrative. And like I mentioned, him going through this whole roundabout way of talking about DAI and how it's hard to find the DAI and WRAP PLS pair according to the liquidity, if that makes sense. And then real quick, how you find it, that liquidity pair that he was talking about is essentially we're over here on Dex Screener, boom. We search them by liquidity. And then we're gonna come down to this, if I can find it, the wrapped, it should be down here somewhere. The wrap die pair. Yeah, this pair here, this wrap die pair. And he was talking about the inverted process. So here's the chart, as you can see, of wrap PLS and die. And then if you go here and you do the invert, it'll invert. And then if you notice over here are the die prices here for PulseChain. So you can see these here. You can see these different pairs, and this is paired at essentially 1 cent, if that makes sense. So, but he was getting at this pair and how this has essentially going to be something that is impactful in the future. So I want to thank you for listening, and thanks for stopping by.